I shake her hair out, I'll be able to check and see. And a lot of times, because our heads and our hair is not proportional, I find that a perfect haircut is not what I need. I need the visual to be perfect. So if I hold it up and I give a perfectly aligned square haircut or triangle haircut or whatever shape I decide, and then I look at her and it's not balanced, I've got to go in and make the visual corrections. Okay, I like this. I'm finding her medium layers are balanced. Her baseline is even on both sides. It's level all the way around. So now, here's where we customize a haircut to match what she wants in the picture that she brought in. We can all come in and do a basic layered haircut, basic bob. Those classic haircuts are required on every haircut, but now it's time for us to customize it for her. So, you said you're interested in maybe doing bangs. We can talk about one or two different types of bangs. We can do a little dusting bang that you can sweep and get it out of your way, but it's short enough to appear to be a bang. Or we can actually give you a full heavy bang. And the difference that you can see, and I'm going to use my hair as an example. I have a full heavy bang, it's just a longer one. So when I hold my bang down and I sweep it over, it starts from further back and it creates a thick illusion of a bang that's swept. So you can see on my hair, I'm going to have a thick bang. It still sweeps, I still have the opening, or I can sprinkle a little bit, or I can just softly angle a fine little bit of hair that can sprinkle across your face. I can't really see what I'm doing right now, but I'm going to just kind of show you in the camera. I can have a little soft layering, and I can create that, not necessarily as a bang straight across, but I'll slide my angling over. Do you prefer which bang, a heavier bang or a soft slide? The softer one, not like mine, the heavy. Or do you want the heavier?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm so glad you picked this. This actually is a great bang, and I was hoping that she'd do this so I could show you this in the camera. For her, I would say she has a pretty average forehead size. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a bang length by finding the depth on the back of her hair that we want. We can go mild on her bangs, we can go a little thicker, or we can go heavy on her bang. Heavy means I'm cutting into some of her layer area, which is what I'm going to have to explain to you. If we go on a heavier bang, when you're ready to grow that out, some of this is going to be what you would call layering for the back of your hair. So as that decides to grow in, you'll want your next haircut to be layered in according to where your bangs grow out. Otherwise, we're stuck with a chunk of hair just growing out that cuts back into our hairline. So, I am going to do this heavier bang, which it looks like you've had that before because that's what we were dealing with around your face was blending. We've already blended her bang into her angling of her face, and that bang was grown out. I'm going to show you some techniques to make it easy to grow out because here Anita's my model today. I don't know if I'm going to see her for her next haircut. So what I want to do is set her up for her grow out process so that whoever her stylist is back at her home, they're going to be able to follow my haircut even if she's grown out and give her an easy grow out process. So, heavy bang. We're going to pick the depth we want and we're going to create a triangle. And how we create a triangle so we're not pulling too much bang is we're going to pull this side to the arch of her eyebrow. Anita, I want you to tilt your head down for the camera a little bit. So you can see where I've started my deep bang and I have now created it to the arch of her eyebrow. I am never going to pull in more hair back here. That's going to cut into her hair too deep. So we're going to do that. And we're going to come and make it even over on this side. We're going to find the arch of her eyebrow. Everything else falls out. So as you can see, we've gone to the arch of her eyebrow and we've created this line. I'm going to tuck all this hair out of the way. And on her bang, she wants a sweeping bang. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to find my starting point by sweeping it. And I can see that I can cut this much off and it still be a sweep for her, which here is going to sit right at the tip of her nose. And that's going to give me a good starting point. Rule of thumb, if you're cutting with wet hair, it shrinks up. So always make sure that when you found the tip of her nose, you drag it down just a little bit extra. And I'm going to do a blunt cut. Sometimes you can point cut and things like that, but right now while our hair is wet, we're just doing a blunt cut. So, we have finished the wet portion of our hair cutting for this style. The most important thing that we've got to do now is blow dry her hair and then finish the haircut dry. You should never send a client out the door with just a wet haircut. You're never going to know what you're going to get until you blow dry style it. They have cowlicks that might cause one side of their hair to go way up here, and that may need to be customized because every day it's going to do that. That will prevent you from getting a phone call 2 days later when they wash their hair themselves saying, I need to come in for a read. Product is very important in the finishing and the styling aid of achieving the goal of the picture they brought in. So, you have naturally curly hair. You would use your naturally curly products when you want your curly hairstyle, but you brought in a more smoother look. So I'm going to style you according to that. If you wear your hair naturally curly, you're probably more familiar with just being able to style and go with the regular products that you use. But today, I am going to go ahead and use a spray gel. What a spray gel is going to do is it's going to give you a little body, it's going to give you shine, and it's going to add some tack. So that when I go in, I'm going to get a little hold on your hair. So let me just go ahead, while you're wet, I'm going to spray some spray gel. Before I start blow drying and getting really noisy, I'm just going to kind of explain what we're going to do so that you're aware at home, and then we'll start blow drying and I'll explain to you so you're aware and I'm not trying to talk over the blow dryer. So the biggest thing with bangs, no matter whether she sweeps to the left, to the right, or decides to leave them straight across her forehead, when we're blow drying, we always want to over blow dry this way and over blow dry this way. It's going to eliminate the cowlicks. A lot of times bangs, for the first 2 weeks when you have them, you want to blow dry them to reduce any type of cowlick pushing it over in a way that you don't want. What the blow dryer is going to do is it's going to create where you want. And in about 2 weeks, if you continue doing that with your hair, if you're washing 2 to 3 times a week or every day, after about 2 weeks, you can reshape a cowlick so that it becomes more a part of the form of the way you want to style it. Okay, so we're going to start by, I'm going to get 80% of the moisture out of the hair before I put the round brush in it. And I'm going to start by blow drying her bangs both ways. And then I'm going to get her roots lifted. With a spray gel, products are activated by the heat of the blow dryer and the amount of lift effort put in. So if I just blow dry and leave her flat and the spray gel says it's going to add body, it's not. It's going to add body because I put the heat of the blow dryer in it and I lifted the hair up and created the body. All the product's doing is locking the motion of what I'm doing in. I'm going to finger blow dry her, and the goal is that you've got to get 100% of the root dry to create the lift. This is your foundation. If this isn't dry, your whole hairstyle will collapse on you. The mid shaft and the ends, we're going to finish up later with the round brush. You can see with the product, if I lift this up, I put the heat in the blow dryer and I let it sit for a minute and I cool, it's created the body. dry. This is where our style is going to create a shape on her face. We're either going to part it, we're going to go against her calyx, with her calyx. So right here on the top of her head, I want to see her hair have fullness going backwards and a bang coming forward and sweeping. So I'm going to have to make the decision. I kind of visually created it for myself, so now I'm going to have to make a decision on this last section right here, what I want to do. This is going to make her style. If she's going this way, or if her hair grows forward real heavy and we want it off her face, we're going to know that we've got to go backwards, but she wants a bang and she wants it to sweep across. So we know for her, we're going to bring it forward here, and I'm going to start by giving her a little lift. I'm going to let it cool, and as I pull it off to the side, I'm going to sweep that right there. And now I'm going to pick the rest of the hair up back here that I haven't finished blow drying. I'm going to roll this backwards. Say, yeah, she has a bang, it sweeps off like the picture. Yeah, she has medium and long layers, she's got fullness around her top, and the style frames her face. This looks really good. I could say, yeah, I think I'm done because I've done all the robotic steps to perform the picture. But I can look at her hair and I can see myself that her bang is way too blunt right here. There's some dry cutting finishes that need to be done. And I don't want this top layer, if it falls, to create a cut line and then layer, layer, layer. I think we've all seen that at some point in our life where we walk past someone in the grocery store and they look like they have a bubble here, a heavy weight line, and then the rest of the hair has layer or flip. I'm going to show you how to eliminate that right here in the cut. We can do this one of two ways. We can use what we call a blending shear or texturizing shear, and this has a finer spacing between it, so it's going to create blending as opposed to chunking a lot of weight out. Or we can do it freehand, dry cutting, and adding a little texture to the ends with our straight blade. I'm going to choose to do the straight blade on her layer, and I'm going to use the texturizing shear or blending shear on her bang. A lot of times when you use the word thinning shear, a client might freak out because maybe they already have thin areas in their hair. So you've got to make sure that the words that you're using with the client are the proper thing for the tool and the technique that you want to use for this particular hairstyle. So I'm going to start with the bang, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in sections. I'm going to create about a 1/4 inch section. I'm going to hold her bang up. It's going to have a breaking point about right here. You never want to create texture deeper than the breaking point or you're going to thin the hair. So what we're going to do is, I know I can't go any deeper than that bend. I'm just going to kind of click, click, click as I slide my hands up and set that section aside so I don't re-grab any of that hair. I'm going to grab another 1/4 inch section, and I'm going to go above the bend, and I'm going to go click, 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 maybe another 2 or 3 clicks. Whatever I feel necessary for the amount of weight I want to remove off of her ends. Grab this next section, click, click, click as I'm sliding off. And then I'm going to look at her bangs again, and I'm going to see if that did the job. I like it. It's a little more feathered, but I still feel like there are chunks over here that are just going to be way too heavy. They're not going to blend growing out. So now I'm going to grab her bangs again, that same original triangle that I took in the beginning, and I'm going to look at it and I'm going to see where is some hair that looks wrong. It's a little heavy here, maybe a little heavy here, got a long piece over here. So those are what I'm going to work on. It's your judgment call, but what you visually see on your client. This is my judgment call in this, and I'm going to take a little more weight out on the end here, blend this a little bit more here. Each time I do it, it's going to create more of a feathering for her. And I'm looking at her and I'm saying, you know what, I like this sweeping bang, but I want to give her a little bit more softness right here. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to take my same shears, and I'm just going to soften her line a little bit. The reason why we do it dry is our hair is not going to shrink up anymore. And I can visually see what I'm creating on her hair right now. Blow dry that hair off of her face. Now we have not finished her style, but we now have a soft bang that if she doesn't come back and see me for another 3 months and she wants to grow that out, this hair will feather right into the rest of her hair and it will blend as she grows out. And the last thing we're going to do is take that same top layer that we held up earlier, and once again we're not taking the length because we're not creating a short layer, but what we're going to do is we're just going to soften the edges of this by going in and point cutting. As you can see, we've softened her edges. I always go in and I do a little sliding technique. And with the proper shear and the proper dry cutting sliding technique, you won't hurt the client. And so as I shake this out, I can see how I've softened that top layer, and it's going to blend into the rest of the layers without creating a line. As you can see on this side, I blended where the bang was into the angling that she had earlier. And this is how the shape of her face comes in. You can see on this side, she's more open, and because my layers start down here, it opens up her jaw, and then it comes in down here on her neck. But here, what we've done is we've filled in this cheekbone, and it's created the illusion of a trimmer face shape. And this is how you can change the shape of a face without having to change the shape of a face. We're going to do the same thing on this other side, but I'm going to grab a piece of her bang so I know where to start the connection. Look how that one extra move, cutting it dry, changed the whole shape of her face and the whole end product of that haircut that 10 minutes ago we said, it looks okay, we could be done with it. But now she's going to have a lot more options. She's going to be able to take that hair and she can feather it back. She can bring it towards her face if she wants a night on the town with a trimmer jawline. Or she may say, you know what, I'm going to play tennis and I need this out of my face. She can pull it up. She can get a little bit of a bang across her forehead. And then her face opens up. So she has options here with this haircut. So I'm going to look at her. And I like it. I like this. I'm going to say I'm done. But the last thing that I'm going to do in this haircut is I'm going to finish the style. The reason why we always finish the style with a curling iron or a flat iron or something along the lines of that is because a lot of times it gives your client a little further education on how to just take it a step further in their styling at home. Knowing the temperature of your flat iron for the texture of your hair is very important. I'm going to go ahead and do her hair at 370 degrees on my flat iron. Anything above 370 is probably going to be a little too hot for her texture. And here, as you can see, Jaclyn Smith has 4 different styles, 4 different haircuts. Some part down the middle, some keep a bang, some are off to the side, but she has a lot of fullness in the second picture, a little bit smoother to her face in the first, a little straighter in the third. So I'm going to look at her and say, you know what, I kind of like the full top and a little smoother, so I'm just going to accentuate what we've already got from the round brush. She's got naturally curly hair, so she knows what curls look like on her hair. So we're just going to take this, and I'm going to do the mid shaft and the ends. I'm just going to smooth that out a little bit. I'm going to take this section, put my iron in. I'm just going to put a little bend going backwards. Maybe because I just want a little movement, but not necessarily a curl. On our bang, I'm going to go in some sections. I'm going to pull a couple of this middle section and put it in the middle. I'm not going to start flat ironing that. Take this section, and I'm going to feather it off to the side. And I'm going to grab this section, and I'm not ironing it down. I'm actually pulling it to the side with my iron. Just letting it fall out naturally. Grab this top section where we left that medium layer in there. I'm just going to kind of bend it. This could be a roller you put in there. Just roll it straight back. I'm going to take my iron and do basically what a roller would do. I never iron right at the root because that's where we've gotten the body added with the blow dryer and the round brush. I'm just going to do the mid shaft and the ends to smooth out any type of frizz. And here is our finished product. We'll show you pictures of the back when we're complete. But as you can see, like some of these pictures, we're just going to pick one that works good for her. Maybe I'm going to bring this in and bring this back in full, or you can feather all this back and bring it off of her face, give her a little body, and let her bang fall naturally. And we'll show you some final shots of the completed product when we're all done.
I grew up in a place where they told you what to chase, told you how to run the race. Every move was on the page, but I didn't like their way. Had to fight and misbehave, had to find a way to change, had to leave to find my way. God.